Hey, I'm Riet.
Hello, I'm Johannes.
We haven't said hello in a long time. We're still Maschinen-Mensch. We're still around. You might remember us from way back when we worked on Curious Expedition in 2014, I think.
It's 10 years ago.
And we did a lot of development videos back then. I think over 30 we did. And we had you on our journey, kind of explaining how the game is going and so on. And it's been 10 years since then.
Yeah, we partied this year. We had a 10-year anniversary party, which was great.
Yeah, time flies. And we thought it's a good occasion to let you know what we're up to, what we're doing, because we got an exciting release coming up. And we thought, as a throwback to the old days and so on, we make one of those of our infamous development update videos and tell you a bit about our current project.
So how large was the team when we did Curious Expedition 1 and 2? And 2?
Yeah, for 1 it was very small.
Yeah, it was
mostly us.
Yeah. At the end we had our first hires.
Yeah.
And then for Curious Expedition 2, I think we were around about 9 to 10 people.
Yeah, around about, yeah.
And now, how many are now working on the new game?
Now we are over 20.
God.
Yeah. So the new game will have probably, like, if you count everything, like, over 25 like recurrent collaborators, and probably like when you count also QA and all the people in marketing and so on, it's quite a lot. So it's exciting. It's also making us nervous. So tell us about the new project.
The new project, yeah, wow. The new project, it's called Mother Machine. If you have seen it already, you might have been surprised already. But yeah, we changed genre. So we are not making a strategy round-based game anymore, like in Curious Expedition, but we decided to do a platformer. That's crazy, yes. But it shares a lot of similarities with Curious Expedition, actually. At the core, it is again a highly procedural game. I dare to say it's so far our procedural masterpiece that we're doing. So we took all the learnings from Curious Expedition times and decided to apply them to a different genre. So yeah, you do the thing. You run, you jump, you climb. That's a special thing for the platforming aspect. And you explore a lot. That's where it meets the roots of Curious Expedition. You explore procedurally generated caves and do the bidding of your loving mother, as the title suggests. She is a giant robot on a far away distant planet in a far away time, and you take control of her little children, which are little kind of like gremlin creatures that love to create chaos and run around, eat stuff, smash things. And that's what you're doing, but you're not doing it alone this time around, but it is a cooperative game, non-competitive. You can play it online with up to 4 players, or in a local split screen with your best friend or your kids or whoever is around. Grab them and play the game. It's gonna be fun. It's, as our roots go back, it is replayable. It features around about like a game loop of 10, 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the goal type you are playing and also your game style.
Yeah, and as you said, it's kind of different from previous games that we've done, but also shares a lot of similarities to previous games. I think one is also you can see it in the handwriting, is kind of the humor of the game, and like this juxtaposition of kind of like these creatures dying sometimes, kind of like, I mean, they're struggling a lot in the cave, they're dying, they're like exploding and so on, but it's also on the other hand like humorous. There's like a lot of funny moments and so on, which is, I feel, similar to Curious Expedition, that it always mixed kind of these the satire and the horror and the humor, like it's all one. And I think the other similarity is the procedurality, and that's really hard to explain the game. It's like a genre mix. It's a bit of everything. It's quite original. and yeah, we hope you will like it.
Yeah, this difficulty of explaining the game is also a little bit our problem right now, because yeah, it's really hard to compare. I will throw around a couple of other game names in a moment, but before that, I would like to touch on something that Riyad just said, where the similarity to Curious Expedition and those funny moments that you will have. So, in Curious Expedition, when you were playing the game, you were experiencing a story, and we think like a lot of the fascination that came for this game was because that when you were playing, you felt like the story that you're experiencing is really based on your decisions that you've been doing, and this whole snowball effect of those decisions ending up in stories that you felt, oh, this is like a unique story for me. And this was really fascinating for us to see this unfold. And we replicated this feeling of like I'm experiencing something very unique in Mother Machine again, but in a different way. Where in Curious Expedition, the uniqueness came through a written story that you were experiencing. In Mother Machine, we don't have that much. It still also has a story campaign, but the uniqueness of these moments comes from the physicality of the game world. So there's a lot of like chain reactions and emergence in our game that we try to push as hard as possible. So there will be a lot of things like objects rolling around, falling down, an enemy type doing something that you wouldn't have expected, and you will run through the caves and experience a lot of very, very unique moments that the game produces only for you.
Something that you will notice when you see the game is that graphically it's really it looks amazing, and it's really, you know, we did Curious Expedition 1 was like a pixel art game, and then Curious Expedition 2 was modded after this Franco-Belgian comic art style ligne claire. Was already a big step up compared to the first game, and this one is another huge step up for us. We come from the kind of AAA world, or not kinda, we worked on AAA stuff. We worked with Unreal back in the day, and we have gone back to Unreal using the newest Unreal version. And with the engine and the big team and so on, I think it really shows that we're reaching quite far with the production quality. I think actually we're achieving a quality that's beyond what people might expect from a team of our size, because we're using like some really...
You're punching above our height. You say that.
We are doing a lot of interesting stuff with Houdini, which is like a procedural modeling package. We have some unique technology in there, and so it's quite exciting to be able to share all the stuff, not just the game, but also all the technology that we've been working on.
So we have prepared a couple of like questions from the community. I don't know what's in there, and so
me neither.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we asked our community to ask us questions. So we're gonna draw a couple of these questions and see if we want to answer them.
How many are there?
There are a lot. We probably won't get through all of them. We don't want to overstretch this video, but we're gonna go through a couple of them. And if you see edits in the video from this point on, our answer was probably not good. The questions were awesome, of course. But yeah, let's try this. I mean, it's something we've never done before, so let's...
Looks like a fortune cookie.
Yeah, your game will be very successful. No, it says, what was the funniest bug you ever encountered in Mother Machine?
Oh, that's hard. There's so many. Spontaneously... So we have portals in our game to allow players, wherever you have visited a cave, and when you go back to like an outpost, which are kind of like checkpoints, they feature a large map. You can interact with that map and place a portal anywhere where you have already been, or where one of your friends that you're playing together in that round has already been. And that's very practical. And when you walk up to the portal, you hold an interaction, and then you get sucked into the portal. It's featuring a very nice effect. And at some point that was broken, so when you came out of the portal, you still had that suck-in effect on your head. So you would walk around with a like weird, distorted spiral head above you. That was pretty hilarious, I would say.
Mm. Yeah, I don't have a favorite one. I think, but what I like about this game, the quality of it is that this procedural gameplay makes it so that you have like funny situations, kind of like every time you play. There's always something funny, like these chain reactions of like physical effects, people falling, like they're being pushed down by a geyser and then they fall into like an acid pool and or something.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's it's very I don't know how they call it, emergent gameplay or something. So that's kind of like my favorite quality. Sometimes hard to tell what's a bug, what's a feature. Okay, next one. Oh, what are the little critters called? I guess this refers to our main characters. Oh, that's a tough question.
Yes, they don't have a biological name. Maybe if you have good ideas for a cool name, go to our Discord and propose it. We're still in search for that. We call them like, sometimes we call them like just creatures, or little gremlins. That fits well. Mother Machine refers to them as her children, and the siblings that you're playing together with. I guess that's it.
Well, tell us a bit more about what they are actually.
Oh, yeah.
What are these creatures?
Without spoiling too much of the story campaign, the little creatures are 3D printed living beings. It's a very sci-fi story, by the way. So they are little 3D printed creatures that Mother Machine, a giant robot machine that runs on a highly sophisticated AI, has been bioengineering, and she created them. She manufactured them from many different things, like DNA from creatures of the planet that the game plays on, but probably also more DNA snippets in there. So it's just a big, weird mix of things to create a creature that is highly sophisticated for what it's supposed to be doing: exploring, climbing, taking damage, scavenging in a foreign, hostile, alien environment.
Nice. Okay, let's do two more.
Two more.
You wanna go?
Okay,
go next
yeah,
one?
I'm curious. I want to have a fortune cookie as well. Why are the gremlins so hungry all the time? Okay, so the narrative answer to that is they love eating a lot. That's like part of their construction. The more mechanical gameplay answer to that is that you need to have a full belly in order to perform your special abilities, those mutations that I talked about earlier. So basically, it's kind of like your mana, if you want to say. We have a little belly display, and whenever you're using your abilities, it goes down a little bit. So you definitely want to grab and eat everything you're finding. But it goes beyond that, because many of the objects that you're eating have an inherent property that will be applied to you when you're eating them. So for example, there are like glowing fruits growing on a plant that you find in the cave, and you can take that fruit and carry it around with you. And while you're doing that, it will act like a little lantern that will illuminate the area surrounding you. You can also throw it on a wall, and it will pop there and leave a puddle of glowing liquid, and then you're lighting up the way in those sometimes relatively dark caves. But you can also eat it, and when you're eating it, then the glow will be inside of you, and your clone will emit like a small sweating skin thing, where you will be the lantern in this moment for some time while you're walking around. There are many other different fruits which will apply also different abilities and effects to you. So yeah, always eat your vegetables, kids.
And just to add to that, I feel also the game is very like visceral. Like we're trying to simulate like a cave world where there's like animals and plants and hazards and so on there, and interacting with each other. Like we want it to feel alive. Like things are like dying and being born and eating each other and so on. And then you kind of being part of that and like being in that world and also consuming things and being created, being printed, being like dying and so on. I feel like it's kind of like you're going like through like a super fast life cycle and like just eating and consuming and absorbing stuff and so on. I feel it's kind of like something about this game. It's very like raw and like it feels kind of like organic. I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like alive.
Wow, yeah, it's getting very philosophical this morning. Is there anything the Chaos Gremlins can't digest?
Wow.
Do you know? Yeah, there are some things. I can tell you.
I guess they cannot. I mean, they can digest like organic stuff. So there will be like most of the cave environment is organic, right? Like plants and so on, and fruits. But there are like these. I don't want to spoil too much, but they like these. It's on an alien planet, right? In the distant future, and at some point, the reason why you're there as creatures and so on is that this planet was colonized by somebody, by these colonists, and whoever they were, they seem to be gone now. So you are like, it's kind of like a bit of a post-apocalyptic feeling of these machines, these old machines still being there and so on. So this world has like organic components and it has like metal, old runes which you can explore. And I would assume that those parts are not edible by you.
Yes, there is, to my knowledge, I mean, Credo is basically the creature can eat everything. But there's one thing they can't digest, which are those machines that Ria just talked about. There are interesting contraptions scattered across the cave. Those are little, like, sometimes you will encounter some puzzle-esque moments there where you have to, power something and then the cable runs to a machine that then is activated and then you can do something with it. And in order to power things, there are batteries scattered in the cave. And these batteries, if you eat them, you will be allowed to eat them and the creature will swallow them, but it will puke them out in the same moment right after, because don't eat batteries, kids.
Yeah. That's the most important message of this video. And I would say that concludes this video. It's a good wrap up. We don't want to make this too long.
I still owe them a couple of game names which are comparable to our game.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, before we're wrapping up, don't forget, we're still a small studio, so go to our Steam page and wishlist the game if you haven't done that yet. It makes a big change for us. So, comparable titles. I would say, of course, Spelunky is very close. Not as twitchy and nerve-wracking though, we are a little more calm. Rainworld, we love Rainworld. Rainworld is a highly sophisticated environment that's being generated and the whole biosystem the game simulates. It's very interesting, we love that one. Noita is a great one, really cool. And the procedurality of that game comes close. I would dare to say even like the first Helldivers is very similar in terms of how we do the multiplayer, meaning that you can easily play also alone. It's very playable alone, but then you can also just hop into a run together with friends and play it together. I should have made a list for that one. I guess I'm missing something. Do you know one more game which we could compare?
I think there are a lot of, I think Deep Rock Galactic is kind of like a different camera perspective and so on. But in terms of like this multiplayer enjoyment of like, hey, let's go for a run. We have a couple of minutes, like we have half an hour with your friends. Just let's hop in, explore a cave, hop out again. It's similar.
I got one more. Mario Wonder. If you like Mario Wonder, it's also, it's platformer, and in Mario Wonder you have those badges where you can have like one special additional ability when you're playing the game. It's very similar to our Mutations.
Yeah, and one I think Abe's Odyssey. It's those are more like puzzle games and so on, but I feel where it comes close is kind of the weirdness of the world, like this really like alien world that feels different, that feels like, but it also feels like visceral and alive, and it mixes also like organic stuff and like inorganic cyberpunkish stuff and so on. So I think just in terms of lore and so on, there's a bit of similarities there.
Good. I think that gives you some examples. So yeah, that's it. Let's close this one. Thanks a lot for watching and wishlisting our game. And yeah, I guess then see you in the world of Mother Machine.
Yeah, and then also, if you like this video, let us know. We have still a couple more questions to go through. If you want to have like more answers and so on, we are happy to do that. Just let us know. Okay, all right then. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
See you.